and His light emanate to us, give us His blessing and meditate as such. And then we recite the mantra of Guru Puja.
了，吉祥如意。
Deshitele, may all be auspicious.
好，唱莲花人大师的声音太好听了，我们唱一首听听。
Rinpoche just commented, Lobana has such a beautiful mantra, so that's why we extended our Guru mantra a little bit.
我们接受任何法门之前次，你内心中升起一个对上帝的信心的时候呢，以这个基础上，学什么法门都是可以要入心。
So before we receive an empowerment, then we have to have a strong faith. That is the basis of receiving the empowerment. And with this strong faith arises, this is the fundamental of practicing any sadhanas or dharma practices.
有个人大师有提到过，如果是有人有小孩子呼唤母亲的声音，求7年换大师，莲花大师会给你加持。
Guru Rinpoche mentioned, if a kid prays to him in a child's voice, like calling mother, he will for sure give his blessing.
就像一个小孩子呼唤母亲的声音，母亲听到的时候呢，就好像他不忍心的样子。莲花大师也不是众生，也只能到你的前面给你们加持。
So as a mother, no mother can ever reject the calling of the child. Same thing like Guru Rinpoche, he would never reject any of our callings.
但是呢，我们呢，在很多期间，其实临床临时中祈请，这已经也变成一个传统。但是它不只是一个传统，它就变成它这个会带来给大家一个无限的希望和无量无边的加持。
So therefore, reciting Guru Rinpoche's mantra has become a tradition, but this is not just a tradition. This mantra symbolizes hope and then forever blessing.
现在我们等一下跟大家传的是文殊师利菩萨。
So the next empowerment we'll be receiving this evening is the empowerment of Manjushri Bodhisattva.
文殊菩萨有很多种，这里面主要是我们称为一个意识的文殊。意识的文殊的语言方面是很自在的，它气在色的上面的，在法相上面，它气在色的上面，就称它为气在色的上面的文殊菩萨。因为它的有易成就的这种加持力。易成就的意思就是不管是讲话念经念经讲经说法或者是揭开我们的欧龙的这个媒介，是开启无限的这种智慧欲的智慧，也才能就成为一个意识的文殊。
There is the Manjushri, there are various kinds. Tonight, Rinpoche will bestow the empowerment of Lion's Roar Manjushri. And this Manjushri, he rides on lions, and which give achievement on speeches such as speaking and achievement in reciting mantra or any Dharma teachings, and it opens up the channels for our throat so we can recite and accomplish everything fast with our speech.
这个不是说讲话很快而是我们是讲话的话，就是不管是最主要是我们是念经讲经说法或者背经文或者是思维佛法的时候，就是有精通的这种智慧。
The accomplish on speaking is not for you to speak speedy fast. It's more for the speaking and understanding when practicing or reading Dharma texts, and then also the spreading of Buddha Dharma.
在每个宗教里面都有智慧的神，我们在佛教里面是代表智慧的，就是文殊师利菩萨。
In just about every religion, there is somewhat a god or goddesses which represents the wisdom aspect. And then as for Buddhism or Tibetan Buddhism, wisdom item is Manjushri Bodhisattva.
文殊师利菩萨是30亿千诸佛菩萨，他们的所有智慧都是合起来就变成显现为一个童子的形象、小孩子的形象而出现的。
Manjushri Bodhisattva, he is the union of all the Bodhisattva from the three worlds, and he's a wisdom union, and then in the form of a young boy.
文殊菩萨，我们所有佛教的所有法、佛、菩萨，都可以称为有分为一个法身的、报身的、化身的，有分为这种的一个分法。
And then as for Manjushri, in our Buddha Dhamma, there are three forms of Manjushri. We have it in the form of Nimakaya, and Dharmakaya, and Sambhogakaya.
但是呢，在 Dharmakaya 来讲的话，它的境界当中，也可以说是佛，一切都是无相的，它是一个智慧的方式出现。
And in the form of Dharmakaya, the condition is Buddha is in a formless form.
在Sambhogakaya 来讲的话，它就是会出现一个圆满报身相、报身方的意思的相好、庄严、清净的这种形象会出现。
And as in form of Sambhogakaya, you will see the form of Manjushri in such a pure form with beautiful adornments.
如果是我们在化身的境界来讲的话，它就会出现为这个南曼的盖亚来讲的话，它就可以出现为善知识的形象、上师的形象，或者是有各种动物的形象，或者是圣的形象、天女的形象等等，有各种各样的形象会出现。
And in the form of Nimakaya, you can actually see the wisdom form of Manjushri. You can hear, you can see, you can move in any form.
但是呢，我们的佛教的最高的境界来讲的话，佛教是无相的。但是呢，用阶段性来讲的话，还没有断烦恼，还有我执的存在的时候，佛像都是有相的方式会出现的。
The highest level of this practice is actually Buddha in a formless form. But before we reach the enlightenment or attain enlightenment, due to our ignorance, so we will see Buddhas in a form, so we can actually see here.
我们如果是一个人来讲的话，他有些人不用吃饭的，有些成就者来讲的话，一辈子都不用吃饭的。有这种的境界来讲的话，饭都是多余的，也不一定要的。
And as a person, for some highly practiced practitioner, they don't have to consume food, and consuming food is considered extra things for them.
有些人是有时候可以吃，有时候不吃东西也是可以的。这种的境界来讲的话，就是饭是可以有用的东西，但是呢不一定有是必须有的东西。
And as for some practitioner, they can have eat food or not eat food. So some of the things, or it's considered not a necessity.
就像我也是有时候呢，就是要断食，我的极限就是只能100天， 100天过了就没办法。100天之内呢，对我来讲的话，凡是就是就是没问题的，但是呢，100天之后呢，还是需要的。
Just like Rinpoche, he can go on a feast for 100 days without food, but then on the 101 day, he has to consume something. He can go out. He can go on after 100 days.
还是非常重要的。如果说我们说断食结束以后吃饭是很重要的。
Once completed his fasting, it's very important to consume food.
因此呢，这种的我们所谓有时候可以吃饭，有时候不用吃饭的，7天也好，3天也好，7天也好，这时候呢，你的饭是可有可无的。
So, like Rinpoche mentioned, for some practitioner, it's okay to go on a feast, like during the length of 7 days, 7 days with food, 7 days without food. It's fine. It's not necessity for them.
因此呢，我们修行的人来讲的话，有时候，就虽然是对空性上面是非常有的能了解，但是呢，你的禅定的力量没有达到这个境界的时候，你还是需要的，有时候需要靠诸佛菩萨有形象的诸佛菩萨去修持，有时候呢，你就可以说完全就是入定的状态，没有这个形象也没有问题的。
And as a practitioner, sometimes we kind of get the meaning and understanding of what emptiness is, but until we have a stable meditation understanding level, we still need the blessing from Buddha and Bodhisattva for them to bless and grant us the stableness of meditating.
但是呢，我们现在来讲，大部分是每天有工作，每天有工作的时候需要吃饭，就是饭非常重要。在世界上面，我们每个人的一般来讲的话，就是吃饭是非常重要的。
As for most of us, we have to work, so having 3 meals a day for most of us is actually quite important.
有饭呢，不只是只有一样，还有多样，还有香味，有菜色，各方面都很多人有非常多的要求。每天都吃同样的饭，有可能是很多人都是会就没胃口吃。
And when it comes to consuming meals, we're not just having a plain rice. We want a variety of it. We want to have like all sorts of spices. It has to be tasty. We can't imagine just having the same meal every day.
这种的情况呢，就像我们现在反复的阶段，还没有证悟空性的时候呢，我们需要修很多种法门，也需要很多样的变化的各种各样的佛像、菩萨、护法类似这种的需要的。
So come back to our practice. This is just simply like our practices at the moment. We can't just focus or accomplish with one method of practices. We need various kind of mantras, idioms to support us on the practice path.
但是呢，现在我们现在的阶段呢，我们吃饭会影响你的身体。没有吃饭的时候饿肚子，有吃饱了以后还是身体有点舒服感，或者是你的体能比较好，等等，就是我们吃饭的决定会影响到你的身体和生命。在同样的，我们初学人的阶段呢，修法有香的修法，观想佛像、念诵咒语，或者是很多缘起的法，就是要看得到的、听得到的、摸得到的，这些都是我们非常需要的。
So at this current stage of practicing, Rinpoche was making a metaphor about how we need to have various meals every day. So just like our practice, we depend on form, we depend on the hearing of mantra, and we relied the actual Buddha statues or reciting mantras to keep us on the path of practice.
特别是我们在一个修法当中，初学人来讲的话，智慧是非常重要。
And as a beginning practitioner, the most important thing is to have wisdom.
实践和初学间都是智慧重要。
No matter if you're practicing matters of worldly or a mundane life, wisdom is very important.
对实践法来讲的话呀，你有智慧的时候，遇到了很多问题都是你可以解决，你有能力可以解决。我们没办法解决问题的对着我们就受到方法受到智慧。
So when dealing with worldly matter, if one acquires wisdom, then one has the capability to resolve any problems.
实践的这个成功呢，就是有两种，一个是靠福报的，虽然他们智慧没有怎么样，但是呢，剩下的就是很顺利，就是靠福报的，他有福报，这种的是比较少数的，大部分的实践的成功全部是要靠智慧。
Rinpoche mentioned too. He said, first of all, it's quite rare. Some were born with victorious or fortune and merits from past life. They don't have to really work very hard, but then in all conditions they can resolve their problem. But then as for second, that will be most of us. We have to work very hard, and then we need to acquire wisdom to counter all the obstacles on our path.
我们这个世界是人的社会，但是呢，人要互相依靠和相依，有依赖性。透过这个，就是会我们看这个事件上面有没有成功。但是呢，靠人际关系也是要靠智慧，赚钱也是需要智慧，要靠解决身体的问题也是需要智慧，靠解决心理的问题也是需要智慧。
And since we're in the world and then we interact with humans, so we kind of depend on each other, our family and our social network, and then without wisdom it will be difficult for us to make money, to make fortunes, or how to stay healthy.
有些我们说非常努力，很辛辛苦苦就是做事情，但是呢，想要赚钱也赚不到。有些人很轻松的可以赚得到钱，但是这个也是大部分是靠智慧的，有时候靠福报的时候还是有，但是大部分是靠智慧。
And for some, they work so hard, but it is very difficult to make money. And whereas for some, they don't work as much hard and they can just make money in a very relaxing way. Maybe it's due to their past life fortune, but then that's very rare. But then for most of us, if we have the wisdom, then making money shouldn't be that difficult.
以修行来讲的话，就是要修，要二质量，福慧、福的质量和智慧质量，还有心性，这三个是修行道上非常重要的。
As a practitioner, we have to have wisdom, and we need to know wisdom so we can gain prosperity.
心性。
And then strong faith.
这三个里面有成就的，哪个成就的比较多呢？靠心性成就的比较多的。
And out of those three, which one you can achieve accomplishment faster is the third one, to have a strong faith.
第二个是靠智慧。
And the second will be based on your wisdom.
完全靠福报成就它是很少的，这是要消除一些障碍，聚集一些质量，它是一种其中一个条件而已，它不是最关键的。
And then as being prosperous from the past life, that is actually a condition. It's very rare for most of us to acquire such condition.
然后呢，修行的一种修行上面有没有成就，也是还有刚刚提到的，就是要看心性和看他的智慧的大小。
And for practitioners, to be able to complete one's practice, there are two conditions. It depends on how strong, on how unwavering your faith is, and your wisdom.
可是呢，我们用增长智慧的方式有很多种啊，我们要用一般的人的方式，就是要透过读书啊，有听闻佛法，思维它的内容，或者是就是要透过这种方式去提升智慧，或者是透过修行啊，修行就是要修一个某一个本尊，要透过它的加持力量开启智慧，就是这两种。
Okay, there are many ways to increase our wisdom. I think most of us, we increase our wisdom through study or reading, or some we can increase our wisdom by listening to Dharma teaching or practice a certain idiom that is focusing on wisdom aspect.
一般对普通的人来讲的话，读书要听闻佛法要自己的靠思维这种方式增长智慧的，这个是每个人都就是有很适用的可以是每个人都可以修，每个人都可以用，每个人都会有效果的。
In general, one method is to study and to study Buddha Dhamma, contemplating on teachings or read more Dhamma related texts. That will definitely increase your wisdom.
然后透过另外一个就是我们有时候透过自己的这种文字的能力是不够的，自己的能力不够，在这个时候要靠一个佛菩萨来协助这就是我们的修文殊释迦菩萨的一个目的。
So for individual to acquire such high wisdom, just by hearing, reading, contemplating on Buddha Dharma texts is actually not enough. We need an idiom which focus on wisdom aspect to receive their blessings, so we can have acquired the same wisdoms.
有时候呢，很多人会学习佛法，在这个学习佛法的过程中，就是会因为福报不够，因为这个心性的力量不足，因此呢，他听到的、看到的、所学到的变成就是颠倒的不是正确的，还有自己的知识会害到自己的。这个世间的知识也好，有些佛学的知识也是，有时候增加自己的傲慢心，或者是增加自己的贪心等等，还是会的。有这种的，就是会最后就害到自己的，还是会出现的。因此，为了避免这种的障碍，我们要修持文殊师利菩萨等等，有这种有发愿次第众生有清净的智慧的这种本尊。
For some people on the path of learning Buddha Dhamma, in the process, for some reasons, because of not acquiring enough merits from the past, they might be hearing wrong information or seeing wrong condition with a wrong view, and somewhat develop ignorance and greed, and which will lead them to the wrong path of practicing Buddha Dhamma. And so to able to avoid such obstacle to appear, then we follow the footsteps of Manjushri, and we pray and ask him to grant us the blessing of his wisdoms.
好，今天讲的这个文殊菩萨，文殊菩萨有很多种，这里面是我们今天站在7节式子上面的文殊菩萨。
There are many various forms of Manjushri Buddha, but tonight Rinpoche will be bestowing you the Manjushri riding on a lion, which we call it Lion's Roar Manjushri Bodhisattva.
这个呢，释迦牟尼佛当初有 给一个就是太阳光的先人之后就是要传下来的。
So in the past, Buddha Sakyamuni, he passed to 太阳光。
对，太阳大赤，赤子的赤，太赤的赤，但是没关系，就是因为先人教。
Okay, so in the past, Buddha Sakyamuni passed this practice to a sage for him to practice.
这个文殊师利菩萨是释迦牟尼佛的大弟子，大乘的佛经里面是释迦牟尼佛有8个大的弟子，这个叫八大菩萨。
And Manjushri Bodhisattva, he's actually one of the 8th grade Bodhisattva from Buddha Sakyamuni.
然后呢，这个故事呢，以前这个怎么传下来的故事有个很好玩的故事当初一个在印度一个人的名字叫巴德巴特，他99岁的时候想要学习佛法，要这些个申请出离心。后来呢，他去那个南仁陀寺的一个寺庙的一位学者那里然后他这个想要学习的时候，这个老师告诉他说你要第一个是年纪大第二个呢，你是一个文盲的人你没办法学习佛法，他就跟他这样去回答。后来呢，他就一直在祈请文殊菩萨，他自己觉得说祈请文殊菩萨有可能是有帮助，他这样去一个上师坐下要学习到这个文殊菩萨，然后那个上师告诉他说他问他我修这个法门会不会成就，需要多久的时间。然后在这个时候呢，那个上师要传给他文殊菩萨的那个上师说如果是你的有山缘具足的情况下，一定也可以成就然后呢，那个老人听到这个，他就非常开心，有增加信心。然后呢，他呢就去一个文殊菩萨的佛像面前，就发愿去修持，一直在专心修持的时候，有7年文殊菩萨给他加持，然后他是返老还童，变成一个8岁的儿童一样同他一起文学和佛法最后就是他的名字叫大阪城就是比较入气球呢，就是我们所谓作命童子，童子就是孩子的那个童子，作命童子。然后呢，他就是弘扬出来，这个文殊师利菩萨的法门。
So there was a story about this master. His name is Balabhadra. I hope I got it right this wrong. And then he was 99 years old, and then he wants to renounce from this cycling existence. So he went to a scholar in Nalanda, and he wants to learn about the practice of Manjushri. So he asked his master. He said, "Master, is it okay for me to practice? Can you give me the empowerment?" But then the master said, "Oh, you're too old, and you're also illiteracy. You're unable to read." But then the Barbadar, the master, he prayed earnestly to Manjushri Buddha, and then he prayed to Manjushri Buddha to grant him to have the mastery of his practice. And then he went to another master and then acquired for his opinion to say, "Is it possible for me to accomplish in this lifetime?" And the master says, "If you have all the victorious merits and with the right condition, yes, you can actually achieve the accomplishment of Manjushri in one day." So this Bharabhadra master, he went in front of a statue of Manjushri, and then he practiced and prayed earnestly, and then he turned into a 8-year-old boy in a very youth form.
然后呢，他这个后来呢活很久他是精通佛法，精通文学，变成一个大学者他就是传给其他的弟子，慢慢就传到这个噶玛拉希拉，就是 第9世纪、第8世纪末第9世纪初的时候出来的一位大师，就噶玛拉西拉，他就传到西藏来的。
So after the master achieved and then turned into an 8-year boy form, he actually lived for a long time, and then he achieved a mastery in the accomplishment of Manjushri, and then later on he passed it to another master called Kamalashi around 9th century, and the master Kamalashi, he brought the Kamalashila, and he brought the Manjushri practice into Tibet.
然后噶玛拉西拉来过西藏很多次，来过很多个，最后一个是应该是，这来的时候他的名字叫帕坦巴桑吉，他成为马吉拉中的上师，然后呢，这时候也是他有这个文殊菩萨要传下来，后来呢，这个呢，文殊菩萨就成为瑜伽派和修实生法的传承，就是觉一派。这2个传承的最主要的本尊。
And Kamala Shila been to Tibet many times, and then later he passed the practice of Manjushri into Padamba Sanje, which is the master of Majila Jun, and then from there they pass on the practice of Cho.
还有瑜伽派。
And then Rigid,
传承
the lineage of Rigid.
没关系，
我听不到。
没关系。
西结派
没关系，它变成这2个传承的主要的本尊。
It becomes the main Eden of these 2 lineages.
这2个传下来的，现在来讲的话，当传佛教每一个传承里面就有。这个法门，然后呢，特别对。
As for now, the practice from these 2 lineages is actually very flourishing in all the lineages in Tibetan Buddhism.
现在我们在宁玛派里面呢，就是噶玛强米仁波切和仁波罗帕门仁波切，他们2个大的就是修持文殊菩萨成就，然后有弘扬有这样出来的也是呢。现在也是很多宁玛派在修持。
And there are 2 great masters in the lineage of Nyingma. They specialize in the Manjushri practice, and both of them accomplish and attain enlightenment through the practice of Manjushri.
好，我们这个故事讲到这里，不然的话时间不等人。
And Rinpoche is going to conclude his story time. Otherwise, we're not going to have time for the following empowerment. Thank you. Otherwise, it will be Ning practicing for me again, right?
我们这个衣柜不是很长，你们如果交通的话，就是稍微动一动的话，洗别通的话。
Rinpoche said, no worry. The sadhana is not long. If you feel aching body, feel free to move around. It's okay to stretch a little bit here and there. It's also okay.
还有呢，现在要大家身体放松，呼吸自然，心平静的状态，收回正音，稍微坐一下。
Right now, let's relax our body and focus on our breath.